This is a list of records of the FIFA World Cup and its qualification matches. General statistics by tournament. Teams. Tournament position. Teams having equal quantities in the tables below are ordered by the tournament the quantity was attained in. If the quantity was attained by more than one team in the same tournament, these teams are ordered alphabetically. Most titles won 5, Brazil. Most finishes in the top 2, 8, Germany. Most finishes in the top 3, 12, Germany. Most World Cup appearances, 20, Brazil. For a detailed list, see national team appearances in the FIFA World Cup. Most consecutive championships, 2, Italy, Brazil. Most consecutive finishes in the top 2, 3, West Germany, Brazil. Most consecutive finishes in the top 3, 4, Germany. Most consecutive appearances in the finals, 20, Brazil. Most consecutive championships by confederation, 3, UEFA. Biggest improvement in position in consecutive tournaments: did not participate, then champion, Italy. Uruguay, West Germany. Failed to qualify, then champion, France. Gaps. Longest gap between successive titles, 44 years, Italy. Longest gap between successive appearances in the top 2, 48 years, Argentina. Longest gap between successive appearances in the top 3, 48 years, Argentina. Longest gap between successive appearances in the finals, 56 years, Egypt. Norway. Host team. Best finish by host team. Champion, Uruguay, Italy, England, West Germany, Argentina, France. Worst finish by host team, 17th 32nd position, South Africa. Defending champion. Best finish by defending champion. Champion, Italy, Brazil. Worst finish by defending champion. Did not participate, Uruguay. Debuting teams. Best finish by a debuting team. Champion, Uruguay, Italy. Third place, Portugal, Croatia. Other most finishes in the top 2 without ever being champion, 3, Netherlands. Most finishes in the top 3 without ever being champion, 4, Netherlands. Most appearances never progressing from the first round, 8, Scotland. Least appearances always progressing from the first round, 3, Republic of Ireland. Most appearances never winning a match, 3, Bolivia, Honduras. Most played final, 3, Argentina versus Germany. Players' tournament position. Qualification, at least one appearance in finals tournament. Most championships. Most finishes in the top 2. Most finishes in the top 3. Coaches. Tournament position. Most championships, 2, Vittorio Pozzo. Most finishes in the top 2. 2, Vittorio Pozzo, Helmut Schön, Carlos Bilardo, Franz Beckenbauer, Mario Zagallo. Most finishes in the top 3. 3, Helmut Schön. Teams, matches played and goals scored. All-time most matches played, 106, Germany. Fewest matches played, 1, Indonesia. Most wins, 70, Brazil. Most losses, 25, Mexico. Most draws, 21, Italy. Most matches played without a win or a draw, 6, El Salvador. Most matches played without a win, 9, Honduras. Most matches played until first win, 17, Bulgaria. Most matches played until first draw, 16, Portugal. Most matches played until first loss, 11, Uruguay. Most goals scored, 224, Germany. Most hat-tricks scored, 7, Germany. Most goals conceded, 121, Germany. Most hat-tricks conceded, 4, Germany. South Korea. Fewest goals scored, 0, Canada, China, PR, Indonesia, Trinidad and Tobago, DR Congo. Fewest goals conceded, 2, Angola. Most matches played always without scoring a goal, 3, Canada, China, PR, Trinidad and Tobago, DR Congo. Most matches played always conceding a goal, 6, El Salvador. Highest goal difference +119, Brazil. Lowest goal difference -36, South Korea. Highest average of goals scored per match 2.72, Hungary. Lowest average of goals conceded per match 0.67, Angola. Highest average of goals conceded per match 6.00, Indonesia. Most meetings between two teams 7 times, Brazil vs Sweden, Germany vs Serbia, Germany vs Argentina. In 1958 and 1990 all 3 pairings occurred. Most played final 3 times, Argentina vs Germany, Argentina, West Germany, Germany. Most tournaments unbeaten 7, Brazil. Most tournaments eliminated without having lost a match 3, England. Most tournaments eliminated without having won a match 6, Mexico, Bulgaria, South Korea. In one tournament most wins 7, Brazil, 2002. Fewest wins, champions 3, Uruguay, 1950. Most matches not won, champions 3, Italy, 1982. Most wins by non-champion 6, Netherlands, 2010. Most matches not won 5, Yugoslavia, 1974, Argentina, 1974, West Germany, 1978, Belgique, 1986, Republic of Ireland, 1990, Argentina, 1990. Most matches not won in regulation time 6, Belgique, 1986, England, 1990. Most draws 4, West Germany, 1978, Republic of Ireland, 1990. Most matches played without scoring a goal 3, DR Congo, 1974, Canada, 1986, China PR, 2002, Trinidad and Tobago, 2006. Most losses 3. Most losses, champions 1, West Germany, 1954 and AMP, 1974, Argentina, 1978, Spain, 2010. All matches won without extra time, replays, penalty shootouts or playoffs, Uruguay, 1930, Brazil, 1970, Brazil, 2002. Highest finish without winning a match last 8, Republic of Ireland, 1990. Highest finish, winning at most one match 4th, Sweden, 1938. Most goals scored 27, Hungary, 1954. Most goals scored, champions 25, West Germany, 1954. Most goals scored, hosts 22, Brazil, 1950. Most goals scored, eliminated in the first round 12, Hungary, 1982. Fewest goals scored, champions 8, Spain, 2010. Fewest goals scored, finalists 5, Argentina, 1990. Fewest goals scored, hosts 3, United States, 1994, South Africa, 2010. Most goals conceded 16, South Korea, 1954. Most goals conceded, champions 14, West Germany, 1954. Most goals conceded, hosts 14, Brazil, 2014. Fewest goals conceded 0, Switzerland, 2006. Fewest goals conceded, champions 2, France, 1998, Italy, 2006, Spain, 2010. Fewest goals conceded, hosts 2, Mexico, 1986, Italy, 1990, France, 1998. Fewest goals conceded, eliminated in the first round 1, Norway, 1994, Switzerland, 2010. Most minutes without conceding a goal 517 minutes, Italy, 1990. Highest goal difference +17, Hungary, 1954. Highest goal difference, champions, +14, Brazil, 2002, Germany, 2014. Highest goal difference, hosts, +16, Brazil, 1950. Highest goal difference, eliminated in the first round, +6, Hungary, 1982. Lowest goal difference -16, South Korea 1954. Lowest goal difference, champions +6, Italy 1938 and AMP 1982, Spain 2010. Lowest goal difference, hosts -3, Brazil 2014. Highest average of goals scored per match 5.40, Hungary 1954. Highest average of goals scored per match, champions 4.17, West Germany 1954. Lowest average of goals scored per match, champions 1.14, Spain 2010. Highest average of goals conceded per match 8.00, Bolivia 1950, South Korea 1954. Highest average of goals conceded per match, champions 2.33, West Germany 1954. Lowest average of goals conceded per match, 0.00, Switzerland 2006. Lowest average of goals conceded per match, champions 0.29, France 1998, Italy 2006, Spain 2010. Highest average goal difference per match +3.40, Hungary 1954. Highest average goal difference per match, champions +3.00, Uruguay 1930. Lowest average goal difference per match -8.00, Bolivia 1950, South Korea 1954. Lowest average goal difference per match, champions +0.86, Italy 1982, Spain 2010. Most unbeaten teams 5 teams, 2006. Fewest unbeaten teams 0 teams, 1954. Most matches to qualify for World Cup finals 20, Uruguay 2002 and AMP 2010. Most wins against World Cup champions 3, Brazil 1970, Italy 1982, Argentina 1986, Germany 2010 and AMP 2014. All-time table, giving 3 points per win and 1 for a draw for every World Cup. Brazil leads Germany, Italy, Argentina and Spain by points. Streaks. Most consecutive successful qualification attempts 20, Brazil. Most consecutive successful qualification attempts without automatic spots 8, Spain. Most consecutive failed qualification attempts 19, Luxembourg. Most consecutive wins 11, Brazil, from 2-1 versus Turkey to 3-0 versus Ghana. Most consecutive matches without a loss 13, Brazil, from 3-0 versus Austria to 2-0 versus Bulgaria. Most consecutive losses 9, Mexico, from 1-4 versus France to 0-3 versus Sweden. Most consecutive matches without a win 17, Bulgaria, from 0-1 versus Argentina to 0-3 versus Nigeria. Most consecutive draws 5, Belgique, from 0-0 versus Netherlands to 1-1 versus Tunisia. Most consecutive matches without a draw 16, Portugal, from 3-1 versus Hungary to 1-0 versus Netherlands. Most consecutive top-scoring team 3, Germany. Most consecutive matches scoring at least 1 goal 18, Brazil, West Germany. Most consecutive matches scoring at least 2 goals 11, Uruguay. Most consecutive matches scoring at least 3-4 goals for Uruguay, Hungary, also Portugal, West Germany, Brazil. Most consecutive matches scoring at least 6-8 goals 2, Hungary, also Brazil. Most consecutive matches without scoring a goal 5, Bolivia, Algeria, Honduras. Most consecutive minutes without scoring a goal 517 minutes, Bolivia. Most consecutive matches without conceding a goal 5, Italy, Switzerland. Most consecutive minutes without conceding a goal 559 minutes, Switzerland. Most consecutive matches conceding at least one goal 22, Switzerland. Most consecutive matches conceding at least 2 goals 9, Mexico. Most consecutive matches conceding at least 3 goals 5, Mexico. Most consecutive matches conceding at least 4 goals 3, Bolivia, Mexico. Most consecutive matches conceding at least 5, 6, 7 goals, 2, South Korea, also United States, also Austria. Individual. For records regarding goal scoring, see goal scoring. For records regarding goalkeeping, see goalkeeping. Most tournaments played. 5. Antonio Carbajal, Lothar Matthaus. Most tournaments in Squad. 5. Antonio Carbajal, Lothar Matthaus, Gianluigi Buffon. See here for a list of players who have appeared in multiple FIFA World Cups. Most championships. 3. Pelé in 1970. See here for a list of players who have won multiple FIFA World Cups. Most medals. 4. Miroslav Klose. Most appearances in All-Star Team. 3. Jalma Santos, Franz Beckenbauer, Philipp Lahm. Most matches played. Finals 25, Lothar Matthaus. Most knockout games played. Finals 14, Miroslav Klose. Most minutes played. Finals 2,217 minutes, Paolo Maldini. Most matches played. Qualifying 68, Ivan Hurtado. Most matches won. 17, Miroslav Klose. Most appearances in a World Cup final. 3, Cafu. Most finals played with different teams. 2, Luis Monti. Most appearances as captain. 16, Diego Maradona. Most tournaments as captain. 4, Rafael Marquez. Most appearances as substitute. 11, Den Ulsen. Youngest player 17 years, 1 month and 10 days, Norman Whiteside vs Yugoslavia, the 17th of June 1982. Youngest player, final, 17 years, 18 months and 6 days, Pelé vs Sweden, the 29th of June 1958. Youngest player, qualifying match, 13 years, 10 months and 6 days, Solimane Mamam vs Zambia, the 6th of May 2001, 2002 CAF Group 1. Youngest captain, 21 years, 3 months and 20 days, Tony Meola vs Czechoslovakia, the 10th of June 1990. Oldest player, 43 years and 3 days, Farid Mondragon vs Japan, the 24th of June 2014. Oldest player, final, 40 years, 4 months and 13 days, Dino Zoff vs West Germany, the 11th of July 1982. Oldest player, qualifying match, 46 years, 5 months and 22 days, McDonald Taylor, Sr. vs St. Kitts and Nevis, the 18th of February 2004, 2006 CONCACAF first round. Oldest captain, 40 years, 9 months and 19 days, Peter Shilton vs Italy, the 7th of July 1990. Oldest player to debut in a World Cup Finals tournament, 39 years, 10 months and 17 days, David James vs Algeria, the 18th of June 2010. Largest age difference on the same team, 24 years, 1 month and 11 days, 1994, Cameroon. Largest age difference on a champion team, 21 years, 9 months and 24 days, 1982, Italy. Longest period between World Cup Finals appearances as a player, 16 years, Farid Mondragon. Longest span of World Cup Finals appearances as a player, 20 years, Farid Mondragon. Longest period between World Cup Finals appearances, overall 44 years, Tim Players who represented multiple nations. The following players were included in the squads of two different national teams, making at least one appearance for both of them. Robert Prozeki is the only player to have scored World Cup goals for two different nations. The following players were included in the squads of two different national teams, but only made appearances for one of them. Goal scoring. Individual most goals scored. Overall final 16. Miroslav Klose. For a detailed list of the overall top goal scorers, see FIFA World Cup top goal scorers. Most goals scored. Overall qualifying 35. Ali Dai. Most goals scored in a tournament 13. Just Fontaine. For a detailed list of top goal scorers in each tournament, see Golden Boot. Most goals scored in a match 5. Oleg Salenko vs Cameroon, 1994. Most goals scored in a lost match 4. Ernest Wilimovsky vs Brazil, 1938. Most goals scored in a qualifying match 13. Archie Thompson vs American Samoa, 2002 OFC Group 1. Most goals scored in a final match 3. Jeff Hurst vs West Germany, 1966. Most goals scored in all final matches 3. Vava 2 vs Sweden in 1958 and Amp 1 vs Czechoslovakia in 1962. Pele 2 vs Sweden in 1958 and Amp 1 vs Italy in 1970. Jeff Hurst 3 vs West Germany in 1966 and Zinedine Zidane 2 vs Brazil in 1998 and Amp 1 vs Italy in 2006. Scored goal in multiple final matches. The Vava, Pele, Paul Breitner and Zinedine Zidane. Most matches with at least one goal 11. Ronaldo, Miroslav Klose. Most consecutive matches with at least one goal 6. Just Fontaine and Jairzinho. Most matches with at least 2 goals 4. Sandor Kocsis, Just Fontaine, Ronaldo and Miroslav Klose. Most consecutive matches with at least 2 goals 4. Sandor Kocsis. Most hat-tricks 2. Sandor Kocsis, Just Fontaine, Gerd Müller and Gabriel Batistuta. Most consecutive hat-tricks 2. Sandor Kocsis and Gerd Müller. Fastest hat-trick 8 minutes. Laszlo Kiss scored at 69, 72 feet and 76 versus El Salvador, 1982. Most goals scored by a substitute in a match 3. Laszlo Kiss vs El Salvador, 1982. Olympic goals scored in a World Cup 1. Marcos Cole vs Soviet Union, 1962. Hat-tricks from the penalty spot never occurred in the final tournament. 4 times in qualification. Kubilay Yilmaz vs Faroe Islands, the 7th of October 2000. 2002 UEFA Group 1. Henrik Larsson vs Moldova, the 6th of June 2001. 2002 UEFA Group 4. Ronaldo vs Argentina, the 2nd of June 2004. 2006 CONMEBOL. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang vs Niger, the 15th of June 2013. 2014 CAF second round Group E. Scoring in every match of a team in a World Cup. Georgi Sarasi, 5 goals in 4 matches. Arne Nyberg, 3 goals in 3 matches. Alcides Gidja, 4 goals in 4 matches. Just Fontaine, 13 goals in 6 matches. Omar Areste Corbata, 3 goals in 3 matches. Ferenc Bene, 4 goals in 4 matches. Jairzinho, 7 goals in 6 matches. Teofilo Cubalas, 5 goals in 4 matches. James Rodriguez, 6 goals in 5 matches. Most tournaments with at least 1 goal 4. Pele, Uwe Seeler and Miroslav Klose. Most tournaments with at least 2 goals: 4 Uwe Seeler and Miroslav Klose. Most tournaments with at least 3 goals: 3 Jurgen Klinsmann, Ronaldo and Miroslav Klose. Most tournaments with at least 4 goals: 3 Miroslav Klose. Most tournaments with at least 5 goals: 2 Teofilo Cubalas, Miroslav Klose and Thomas Müller. Most qualification tournaments with at least 1 goal: 5 Carlos Ruiz. Longest period between a player's first and last goals: 12 years, 1 month and 7 days, Miroslav Klose. Longest period between a player's first and last goals overall: 12 years, Uwe Seeler, Pelé, Diego Maradona, Michael Laudrup, Henrik Larsson, Sami Aljaber, Cuauhtemoc Blanco, Miroslav Klose and Ivica Olic. Longest period between 1 goal and another: 12 years, Michael Laudrup and Ivica Olic. First goal scorer: Lucien Laurent vs Mexico, the 13th of July 1930. Youngest goal scorer: 17 years, 7 months and 27 days, Pelé vs Wales, the 19th of June 1958. Youngest hat-trick scorer: 17 years, 18 months and 1 day, Pelé vs France, the 24th of June 1958. Youngest goal scorer final: 17 years, 18 months and 6 days, Pelé vs Sweden, the 29th of June 1958. Oldest goal scorer: 42 years, 1 month and 8 days, Roger Miller vs Russia, the 28th of June 1994. Oldest hat-trick scorer: 33 years, 5 months and 8 days, Torquello vs Cuba, the 12th of June 1938. Oldest goal scorer final: 35 years, 18 months and 21 days, Nils Lidholm vs Brazil, the 29th of June 1958. Most penalties scored: 4 Eusebio Robinson Brink, both records for one tournament, and Gabriel Batistuta. Most penalties missed: 2 Asamoah Gyan vs Czech Republic 2006 and vs Uruguay 2010. First substitute winning goal scorer final came on 86th minute, Mario Götze vs Argentina 2014. Fastest goal from kickoff 11 seconds, Hakan Sukur vs South Korea 2002. Fastest goal by a substitute 16 seconds, Heb Sand vs Nigeria 1998. Fastest goal in a final 90 seconds, Johan Neeskens vs West Germany 1974. Fastest goal in a qualifying match 8 seconds, Davide Gualtieri vs England 1994 UEFA Group 2. Fastest brace scored, 69 seconds, Toni Kroos vs Brazil 2014. Latest goal from kickoff, 121st minute, Alessandro Del Piero vs Germany 2006 and Abdelmoumene Jabu vs Germany 2014. Latest goal from kickoff in a final, 120th minute, Jeff Hurst vs Germany 1966. Latest goal from kickoff, with no goals scored between, 119th minute, David Platt vs Belgium 1990 and Fabio Grosso vs Germany 2006. Latest goal from kickoff in a final, with no goals scored between, 116th minute, Andre Iniesta vs Netherlands 2010. Team biggest margin of victory, 9. Hungary vs South Korea 1954, Yugoslavia vs Zaire 1974, Hungary vs El Salvador 1982. Biggest margin of victory, qualifying match, 31. Australia vs American Samoa 2002 OFC Group 1. Most goals scored in a match, 1 team 10, Hungary vs El Salvador, 1982. Most goals scored in a match, both teams 12, Austria vs Switzerland, 1954. Highest scoring draw, 4-4, England vs Belgium, 1954, and Soviet Union vs Colombia, 1962. Largest deficit overcome in a win, 3 goals, Austria, 1954, and Portugal, 1966. Largest deficit overcome in a draw, 3 goals, Colombia, 1962, and Uruguay, 2002. Most goals scored in extra time, both teams 5, Italy vs West Germany, 1970. Most goals scored in a semi-final, 1 team, 7, Germany vs Brazil, 2014. Most goals scored in a semi-final, both teams 8, Germany vs Brazil, 2014. Most goals scored in a final, 1 team, 5, Brazil vs Sweden, 1958. Most goals scored in a final, both teams 7, Brazil vs Sweden, 1958. Fewest goals scored in a final, both teams 0, Brazil vs Italy, 1994. Biggest margin of victory in a final, 3, Brazil vs Sweden, 1958, Brazil vs Italy, 1970, France vs Brazil, 1998. Largest deficit overcome in a win in a final, 2, West Germany, 1954. Most goals in a tournament, 1 team 27, Hungary, 1954. Most individual goal scorers for 1 team, 1 match, 7, Yugoslavia vs Serbia, 1974. Most individual goal scorers for 1 team, 1 tournament, 10, France, 1982, and Italy, 2006. Fewest individual goal scorers for 1 team, 1 tournament, champions 3, Spain, 2010. Largest goal difference improvement in consecutive matches +1-0, Turkey, lost 1-4 to West Germany, then won 7-0 over South Korea. West Germany, lost 3-8 to Hungary, then won 7-2 over Turkey. Largest goal difference worsening in consecutive matches, -12, Sweden, won 8-0 over Cuba, then lost 1-5 to Hungary. Turkey, won 7-0 over South Korea, then lost 2-7 to West Germany. Hungary, won 10-1 over El Salvador, then lost 1-4 to Argentina. Tournament most goals scored in a tournament, 171 goals, 1998 and 2014. Fewest goals scored in a tournament, 70 goals, 1930 and 1934. Most goals per match in a tournament, 5.38 goals per match, 1954. Fewest goals per match in a tournament, 2.21 goals per match, 1990. Most scorers in a tournament, 121, 2014. Most players scoring at least 2 goals in a tournament, 37, 1998. Most players scoring at least 3 goals in a tournament, 21, 1954. Most players scoring at least 4 goals in a tournament, 11, 1954. Most players scoring at least 5 goals in a tournament, 6, 1994. Risto Stoichkov, Oleg Salenko, Romario, Jurgen Klinsmann, Roberto Baggio and Kenneth Anderson. Most players scoring at least 6 goals in a tournament, 4, 1954. Sandor Kocsis, Eric Probst, Max Morlock and Joseph Hugi. Most players scoring at least 7 goals in a tournament, 2, 1970. Gerd Müller and Jay Urzinho. Own goals. Most own goals in a tournament, 6 own goals, 1998. Most own goals in a match, 2 own goals, United States vs Portugal, 2002. Scoring for both teams in the same match: Ernie Brandt's vs Italy, 1978, own goal in the 18th minute, goal in the 50th minute. Top scoring teams by tournament: 1930, Argentina, 18 goals; 1934, Italy, 12 goals; 1938, Hungary, 15 goals; 1950, Brazil, 22 goals; 1954, Hungary, 27 goals; 1958, France, 23 goals; 1962, Brazil, 14 goals; 1966, Portugal, 17 goals; 1970, Brazil, 19 goals; 1974, Poland, 16 goals; 1978, Argentina and Netherlands, 15 goals each; 1982, France, 16 goals; 1986, Argentina, 14 goals; 1990, West Germany, 15 goals; 1994, Sweden, 15 goals; 1998, France, 15 goals; 2002, Brazil, 18 goals; 2006, Germany, 14 goals; 2010, Germany, 16 goals; 2014, Germany, 18 goals. Teams listed in bold won the tournament. Fewer than half of all World Cup tournaments have been won by the highest scoring team. Total and average goals: most and fewest in bold. Goalkeeping: most clean sheets: Sten, Peter Shilton and Fabian Barthez. Most consecutive minutes without conceding a goal: 517 minutes, Walter Zenger. Most consecutive minutes without conceding a goal: 921 minutes, Richard Wilson. Most goals conceded: 25, Antonio Carbajal and Mohamed El Diaye. Most goals conceded: 1 tournament, 16, Hong Dae-kyung. Most goals conceded: 1 tournament, hosts, 14, Julio Cesar. Most goals conceded: 1 match, 10, Luis Guevara Mora vs Hungary, 1982. Most shots saved: 1 match, 15, Tim Howard vs Belgium, 2014. Fewest goals conceded: 1 tournament, champions, 2, Fabian Barthez, Gianluigi Buffon and Iker Casillas. Fewest goals conceded: 1 tournament, 0, Pascal Zubabula. Most penalties saved: 1 tournament, 2, Jan Tomaszewski and Brad Friedel. Fewest goals conceded: penalty shootouts, 1 match,